Today, we're going to learn about friendship, betrayal, redemption, discrimination, sins, family ties, violence, and nationality. These themes are provided to us in a story about an Afghan man reflecting on his past, learning from his mistakes, and earning redemption in his present. The story and its themes can relate to many of us, and we can learn from the main character, Amir, and his mistakes to better ourselves, so now let's dive right in.
That was a long time ago, but it's wrong what they say about the past. I've learned about how you can bury it, because the past claws its way out. Looking back now, I realize I've been peeking into that deserted alley for the last 26 years.
Tears were sliding down his cheeks. I reached across my seat, slung my arm around him, pulled him close. He rested his head on my shoulder. "He took you for someone else," I whispered.
A boy who won't stand up for himself becomes a man who can't stand up to anything.
اینجا چی میکنی؟ یا بیشه میره ها اینجا ناحق وقت ضایع میکنی میری پرام بیخی و صورت تو چی میفهمی؟ من میفهم
Hassan never denied me anything.
آقای بری دروغ گفتی؟ من میفهم میگی؟ از دروغ کده خواه که میخوام راستی همی کاره میکنی؟ کدام کاره؟ اگه برد بگویم خواه که میخوری؟ اگه تو بخوایی من میخورم
Huddled together in the dining room and waiting for the sun to rise, none of us had any notion that a way of life had ended.
I was going to win, and I was going to run that last kite. Then I'd bring it home and show Baba, show him once and for all that his son was worthy.
I actually aspired to cowardice because the alternative, the real reason I was running, was that Asef was right. Nothing was free in this world. Maybe Hassan was the price I had to pay, the lamb I had to slay to win Baba.
Early that spring, a few days before the new school year started, Baba and I were planting tulips in the garden. Most of the snow had melted, and the hills in the north were already dotted with patches of green grass. It was a cool, gray morning, and Baba was squatting next to me, digging the soil and planting the bulbs I handed him. He was telling me how most people thought it was better to plant tulips in the fall, and how that wasn't true when I came right out and said it. Baba, have you ever thought about getting new servants?
I flinched like I had been slapped. Then I understood. This was Hassan's final sacrifice for me. And that led to another understanding. Hassan knew. He knew I'd seen everything in that alley, that I'd stood there and done nothing. He knew I'd betrayed him, and yet he was rescuing me once again, maybe for the last time.
In the morning, Jalaluddin would probably think we'd gone out for a stroll or a drive. We hadn't told him. We couldn't trust anyone in Kabul anymore. For fear, under threat, people told on each other. Neighbor on neighbor, child on parent, brother on brother, servant on master, friend on friend.
Long before the Rusi army marched into Afghanistan, long before villages were burned and schools destroyed, Kabul had become a city of ghosts for me, a city of hair-lipped ghosts. America was different. America was a river roaring along, unmindful of the past. I could wade into this river, let my sins drown to the bottom, let the waters carry me someplace far, someplace with no ghosts, no memories, and no sins.
I envied her. Her secret was out, spoken, dealt with. I opened my mouth and almost told her how I'd betrayed Hassan, lied, driven him out, and destroyed a 40-year relationship between Baba and Ali, but I didn't.
Listening to them, I realized how much of who I was, what I was, had been defined by Baba and the marks he had left on people's lives. Now he was gone. Baba couldn't show me the way anymore. I'd have to find it on my own. My suspicions had been right all those years. He knew about Asef, the kite, the money, the watch with the lightning bolt hands. He had always known. Come. There is a way to be good again, Rahim Khan had said on the phone just before hanging up. The war is over, Hassan, I said. There's going to be peace, inshallah, and happiness and calm. No more rockets, no more killing, no more funerals. But he just turned off the radio and asked if he could get me anything before he went to bed. A few weeks later, the Taliban banned kite fighting, and 2 years later, in 1998, they massacred the Hazaras in Mazar-e-Sharif. They named him Sarab, after Hassan's favorite hero from the Shahnameh, as you know. You know, Rahim Khan said, "One time when you weren't around, your father and I were talking. I remember he said to me, 'Rahim, a boy who won't stand up for himself becomes a man who can't stand up to anything.' I wonder, is that what you've become?" As it turned out, Baba and I were more alike than I'd ever known. We had both betrayed the people who would have given their lives for us. And with that came this realization, that Rahim Khan had summoned me here to atone not just for my sins, but for Baba's too. He pointed to an old man dressed in ragged clothes, trudging down a dirt path, a large burlap sack filled with scrub grass tied to his back. "That's the real Afghanistan, Aga Sahib. That's the Afghanistan I know. You've always been a tourist here. You just didn't know it." "How much more do you need to see? Let me save you the trouble. Nothing that you remember has survived. Best to forget. I don't want to forget anymore," I said. "How shall we answer those who throw stones at the windows of God's house? We shall throw stones back." I loved him because he was my friend, but also because he was a good man, maybe even a great man. And this is what I want you to understand, that good, real good, was born out of your father's remorse. Sometimes I think everything he did, feeding the poor in the streets, building the orphanage, giving money to friends in need, it was all his way of redeeming himself. And that, I believe, is what true redemption is. Amir John, when guilt leads to good. Do you feel clean yet, Sohrab? Sohrab, I can't give you your old life back. I wish to God I could, but I can take you with me. That was what I was coming in the bathroom to tell you. You have a visa to go to America to live with me and my wife. It's true, I promise.